Hello everybody and welcome to the Football Philosophy channel, and this is just a roundup of the Champions League games that were played last night and a little roundup of what's actually going on in the Champions League in general and where we're at. But first of all, I've noticed in the news today that Aston Villa v Newcastle has been postponed this evening. It's supposed to be Aston Villa v Newcastle in the Premier League tonight. It's been postponed as numerous Newcastle players and staff have been tested positive for coronavirus. It's actually the first game to be postponed since Project Restart, which is quite a while back now. First game to be postponed because of coronavirus testing. I don't know about any. I mean, it's a terrible blow, by the way, a terrible blow, because I hope that's not going to happen again. We can't afford too many games. You know, it's disastrous news, really. I hope there's not too many more games going to get postponed, and I would fit it all into this season. It's already pretty packed. I don't know how it'll all work. I can't explain why Villa were playing Newcastle tonight. There isn't normally Premier League games on the same night as Champions League games, unless maybe through cup ties or anything else in the past you've had a game postponed, or even through weather perhaps, and you might end up having to play a game during the week that's reserved for Champions League games. So quite why Villa were playing Newcastle tonight, I don't quite understand. At first I thought, well, Villa City perhaps, obviously City are in the Champions League, but Villa was supposed to play City on the first day of the season, and that was postponed. So I know they've got to fit that one in somewhere. So quite why Villa Newcastle, I'm not sure. I had a quick look at the fixtures for this weekend, and Villa and Newcastle are both without a fixture from what I can see on the fixture list, so it appears as though it's just brought forward a few days. I really don't get that when it's a Champions League game, a Champions League week. You know, I know they move games to Fridays and Mondays for TV, but there's enough football on the TV tonight, so I don't know if anybody can help us with that, if anybody wants to mention it in the comments, but I can't quite grasp why it was tonight, Villa v Newcastle. I've looked at Newcastle's next fixture. They don't play now unless they try and squeeze that game in. Whether they can squeeze that in this weekend or even next midweek. But Newcastle's next fixture is against West Brom, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So hopefully everything's okay by then. I hope it doesn't get delayed any further. So that's that. A bit of bad news on really bad news really on the coronavirus front. Let's hope that gets sorted. So to the Champions League. Last night was 4 groups were you know, it's the 5th day. There's one more day of the group stages in the Champions League. In Group A last night, Bayern Munich needed a late penalty to get a draw against Atletico Madrid. They were away to Atletico Madrid. They got a 1-1 draw. Salzburg won 3-1 at Lokomotiv Moscow. Bayern are through. I think Bayern were already through, but that's set up a great night in Salzburg next week. Salzburg are at home to Atletico Madrid. They need to win. A draw's no good. It's a real shame that there's no fan. It'll be a great night in Salzburg's history, particularly if they can win that game next week. And it's a real shame that there's not going to be a packed house there for that. But that's a good one next week. Salzburg versus Atletico Madrid. In City's group, it was Porto 0, City 0. City were already through. I think they've won the group now with that draw. And a point for Porto was also enough to see them through. So from that group, City and Porto are through. In Group D, Atlanta could only draw 1-1 with Midtjylland. That's left them in a situation now. Liverpool beat Ajax 1-0. But Atlanta only getting a draw against Midtjylland means Atlanta have got to go to Ajax next week, and they need a result there. Ajax need to win to get through. So if Ajax, it'd be a great, again in the same situation, it'd be a great night in Amsterdam next week. But it'd be even better if there were fans there. But if Ajax can beat Atlanta at home next week, Ajax get through. Atlanta need a draw from that one. Group B is absolutely amazing. I watched sort of a game and a half from Group B last night. In Group B, Borussia and Moenchengladbach are on 8 points. Shakhtar Donetsk and Real Madrid are both on 7 points each. And Inter Milan are on 5 points. All 4 teams can still get through, and all 4 teams can still go out. So it's a fascinating group. I saw half the game for them at Shakhtar Donetsk. They beat Real Madrid 2-0 last night at home. they look a real quality side, Shakhtar. I know they've only got 7 points, but I've watched them a couple of times now. I didn't see all of that game, I saw about half of it, but they look a quality side, they really do. And Zinedine Zidane must be under a bit of pressure. They're on a real bad run at the moment, and they're 7 points behind the leaders in La Liga, and they're not doing, I mean, obviously they can still get through, but they're not doing great in the Champions League either. If they don't get through next week, I don't know if the writing might be on the wall for him, to be honest. So that's one to watch. I did watch the full game. Borussia, Moenchengladbach 2, Inter Milan 3, and what a cracker. Matteo Darmian, Ashley Young and Romelu Lukaku all started, and believe it or not, Matteo Darmian got one of the goals, and I suppose it's no surprise though that Lukaku got the other 2 goals. It was a cracking game. Also, Sanchez came on as a sub with about 20 minutes to go. He hadn't been on long, and he put a brilliant ball down. He looked really sharp, Sanchez, to be honest. He put a brilliant ball down the right wing, which I think it's, I forgot the name of the player that he signed now. I think they signed him from Ajax. He put a great ball across, and Lukaku scored the 3rd goal to make it 3-1. It looked like they were going to get through easily, but literally 2 minutes later, Sanchez gave a poor ball away on the halfway line, and Borussia broke away and scored, made it 3-2. It made it really sort of a hairy last 15 minutes for Inter. They were up against it, leading 3-2. That goal, by the way, the second goal, it looked, they only showed one replay, and obviously there's VAR on the Champions League games. And the one replay that they showed, I don't know why it was so quick, it looked offside to me. It looked, by today's standards, like a foot or so fairly comfortably looked offside to me, that second goal for Borussia. And I wondered what the VAR were up to, but literally a few minutes later, Borussia had the ball in the net again. It appeared they'd equalised, and they took a lot of time over that one, and eventually disallowed it. If that goal would have stood and it had finished 3-3, Inter would have been out. But yesterday morning, Inter Milan were on 2 points and bottom of the group. And by my reckoning, if they've got Shakhtar at home now in the last game, Inter. If they beat Shakhtar, they qualify so long as it isn't a draw between Real Madrid and Borussia Mönchengladbach next week. I don't think that means that Real Madrid and Borussia, they would both get through with a draw, so long as Shakhtar don't win. So they can't really play for a draw. If Shakhtar win against Inter Milan, Real Madrid will go out if they don't win. So they can't afford to play for a draw. But Inter Milan will qualify if they win, and that game is not a draw. So far, we're about half the places are now taken up in the Champions League knockout stages. Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Porto, Liverpool, Chelsea, Sevilla, Barcelona and Juventus. So lots of the big boys already through. Tonight, Dortmund play Lazio. If that game is not a draw, if either of those two teams win, Dortmund or Lazio will qualify with a game to spare. And obviously the big one for us is United and PSG. United need a draw tonight. They've still got the chance next week though by drawing with Leipzig. They'll finish above either of those teams if they draw with them. So a draw tonight will do for United. Really looking forward to that one. Can't wait for it, to be honest. I'll be back. I'll be on Twitter on Rick the Red UK at 7 o'clock with the team news. When the team news comes out, I'll be onto Twitter straight away, announcing the team news and saying what I think of the lineup. If you've enjoyed that show, please subscribe. Tell all your friends. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anyone. Keep stum.